Welcome back, viewers. You joined me for an experiment. An experiment that I'm calling the how much further will an e-bike go compared to a normal bike in 1 hour? Same rider, same track, challenge. Part 1. Now I know what you're thinking, that's a catchy name, but it's a bit ambiguous. What does it all mean? Well, glad you asked. You see, I'm in the very lucky position to be in possession of two identical Commencal Meta Team Edition bikes. The only difference between them, one has an electric motor and a significantly bigger price tag. And that's what we're actually testing here. We're not attempting to demonstrate that an e-bike will go further because everybody already knows that. This experiment is to work out how much further. And is that extra distance enough to justify the extra cost? So let's go. Zombies. Dropping in for lap 1. Alright, well this is Old Man's Valley Bike Park. Now, full disclosure, this is not my favourite place to ride. It's not that there's anything particularly wrong with the place. It is predominantly designed for beginner to intermediate level riders. There is a number of different ways you can ride this place. The way I like to do it, the way I'll be doing it today, is like a big figure 8. So that means I will be doing 2 laps today. And in that I'll get a downhill, a climb, a downhill, and another climb times 2. But the sun is getting very low. And it gets dark down here in Lava Flow very quickly. That finishes the first descent and we climb up to the pool. Sorry?
What does it take, this one?
That goes up to the pool. That takes you up to Quarry Road. Cheers, brother. As you can see, they are devoting a lot of attention to maintaining the climbing trails in this place. This is the pool. They call it that because there's a pool. Dropping in for the second descent of the first lap. The pool down to Lava Flow. Now, while this is not terribly challenging, if you do ride it fast, there is a chance to have a big crash. And I've had a few. A couple of years ago I crashed just back there. And I bent thousands of dollars worth of parts of my bike. Back into Lava Flow. Oh, sun's right in my eyes. Back out again, just over the TWLBJ rock.
Yeah, baby!
The one he always crashes on. And then we climb back to Quarry Road. Exiting back to the trailhead, end of lap 1. Lap 2, and begin. fairly consistently, and very much like I would normally ride this place. But with that said, I am probably pushing a little bit harder on the climbs, because I would like to know how far I can make it in an hour on the acoustic. Well, here's a pro tip from Captain Average. If you're going to ride this place, come late in the day or very early in the morning. Avoid the crowds. The sun is almost over the horizon as we scoot up to the pool. Zombies. God, they're fucking everywhere. This is not a walking trail. You're not a walking trail, it's a bike trail. I'm gonna run into you. We'll both get hurt. Dropping back in. For the last descent. For the last descent of the day. I have to say, I'm glad they put this bunting up. Wouldn't know where to go otherwise. Where is this bloke? Down there. Thank you, Mr. President. Here in Lava Flow, if you're a bit brave and good in the berms, you don't need a pedal. Oh, good the berms. And out. Got to pedal back to the car. That brings us out for the end of lap 2. All that's left to do is wheelie back to the car. Welcome back, viewers. Oh well, not welcome back, because I suppose technically you haven't gone anywhere. What I should say is thanks for sticking around, but I'm back. Strava. Alright, lap 1. I'm back at Old Man's Valley. Well, since I filmed that last segment, oh, out of the way, bird. Turkey run. My God. Right, since I filmed that last segment, there's been some changes. Turns out the COVID vaccine has kicked in and it's all cured now. And we are no longer in lockdown. Sure. All right. Thanks, guys. That's right. And I was saying, yes, we can travel across Sydney, and as of next week, we can go elsewhere in New South Wales, which hopefully means all of the meandering, malignant COVID zombies that have been wandering around our bike trails and just generally getting in the way, can go back to wherever it is that they came from, which I assume is Kmart. And what it means for, you know, us humans is that all the boy and girl mountain bikers out there, we can travel statewide and visit our favourite mountain bike trails and all the wonderful mountain bike parks that are available anywhere in the state, except Glenmouth Valley, because that doesn't exist. Now, it's interesting that I know that even in full boost, which is the full power mode on this bike, in 1 hour I will not drain the battery. So I can leave it in boost mode and whiz around like a lunatic. But as I'm discovering, boost mode is not suitable for every climbing trail. If you're on a track that has a series of narrow, hairpinny corners on the climb, boost might be just a little bit too much. But when it's mostly straight like this climb, boost is fine. And we're at the pool. Yeah, my heart rate's 152, so I'm burning kilojoules or calories, but I'm not tired. Not sure if you can hear that, but the brake pads are rattling within the caliper. Sounds like I've got a bell on the back of the bike. Uh-oh. Thanks, mate. Well, as expected, it is a weekend, so there are plenty of people out. But they're being very considerate today. Bunting. Oh no, it's fallen down. Where do I go? It's the strangest thing with this bike. You watch your heart rate and you still burn plenty of calories because you're maintaining a 140 and 150 beats a minute the whole way. But you're just not exhausted. I'll get to the end of the climb, and I'm ready to go straight away. Now that we're doing a bit of a climb, let me take this opportunity to do a little bit of foreshadowing. No one's going to be surprised to learn that I'm going to go further today than I did in the previous video on the acoustic meta. That's one lap done. 17:04. That's much quicker. Alright, there are some zombies. Alright, lap 2. Right. What was I saying? That's right. It'll come as no surprise that I'm going to go much further today than I did in the previous video on the norm. That is no real revelation. But the question is, how much further? Well, like I said earlier, I've only done a few laps on this thing, so I don't really know. But I don't think it's going to be double. Because the climbs are so windy, you can't just boost along at 25. So we'll just have to see, won't we? All right, I'll wear this. Cheers. That's right. See what I mean? This place has lots of newcomers, which I don't mean to suggest is a criticism. It just is what it is. And they are out doing their best, trying to get better, having a great time. So we try and give them space. Let's get through. Cheers. On here. Yeah. You lost your bike. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Cheers, thanks guys. You guy had a helmet but no bike. Oh, he's had a bad day. His derailleur was basically where his drink bowl should have been. Oh, cheers. Thanks guys. Coming up to the end of lap 2. This point on the norm was just shy of an hour. And today is 34 minutes. That's actually much quicker than I thought. Yes, lap 3. Tell you something these big bikes do well is plough. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, right before coming on this ride, I was at a barbecue where I had many sausages and more than one beer. So, let's just say that I'm trying to give the norm a fighting chance. Time now is 44 minutes and 35 seconds. So, that gives me 15 and a half minutes of riding left, which is going to coincide with, I think, a descent. So, let's rely on technology. Hey Siri, set my timer for 15 minutes.
Okay, 15 minutes and counting.
Right, the pool, 46:45. So we have about, what's that, 13 minutes left. That'll be enough to get down through lava flow and climb back up. Yep. So, I think I'm getting tired. because my riding's getting sloppy, which was the same as last time, but I don't feel tired. I'm not huffing and puffing, I'm not sweating my freckle out, I don't feel fatigued, but my riding is worse, no question about it. I do hope I'm not foreshadowing a crash. Good thing I'm not superstitious. Coming up to the end of lap 3. And out we come. We have a little bit more up our sleeve. So 7 minutes to the bottom of the lava flow, I think. Which bottom of the lava flow is awkwardly the furthest point from my car. I'm sort of glad we're coming to the end of the ride because I've more or less run out of things to say. That's right, buddy.
Did he fall?
What? I think they thought their mate had a fall. I'll give them a pass for riding the wrong way on this one-way trail. Well, turns out I made it all the way through lava flow. And that's an hour. Timer done. So we're all finished up and we got the data together. It's time to work out what we've learnt. And as we expected, the e-bike went much further. But did it go far enough? Remember, in this spec level, the Team Edition Commencal e-bike is nearly $4,500 more expensive than the human-powered Meta. That's a 60% price premium over the normal bike. Therefore, you would expect it to go at least 60% further and achieve 60% more meters of elevation, because that's how the e-bike buys us more of the stuff we want. More downhills, more berms, more jumps, and just more general radness, which I'm sure is a word that young people use. Well, did it do it? Yes, but only just. It did go 6.5 kilometers further and did many more meters of elevation. And at Hornsby, that means instead of going down the hill 4 times, we managed to go down 7 times. So we're going to call that a win. Speaking of going down hills, I wouldn't pay too much attention to the top speed figures here. These come straight out of Strava, and I suspect there's an error. While I'm pretty sure at different times this bike is probably quicker than the human-powered Meta, there is no prospect it was that much faster. But the most interesting thing to come out of this is the energy burn. You see here, after an hour of riding, the energy burn on the e-bike was significantly higher than that on the human-powered bike. Now, I understand I went twice as far, but I didn't ride for any longer. The period of exercise was still the same. You know, I'm not quite sure what to make of this, because without question, life on the e-bike was much easier. What I think might be going on here, because I was working so much harder on the regular bike, at the top of each climb I'd have to stop and get my breath back. During these periods of rest, my heart rate would plummet. Meanwhile, the more consistent heart rate that I was achieving on the e-bike may explain why I had a much higher caloric burn. But to be honest, I don't know. I think I may have just thought of what my next video is going to be about. But before I do that, I've got more of these to film. As you're aware, different bikes respond to different tracks in different ways. So I'm going to take this, plus my human-powered Meta, to a series of different tracks. Next up, we're going to something a bit rougher and a bit faster. But the big difference is the return climb is straight up a fire trail. Well, if you like the content, I'm told that I need to encourage you to like and subscribe. Or don't, because that's also fine.